Hi, this is Glenda, and today I'm going to be making a Star Trek soap. So it's gonna look a little bit like a galaxy soap. I am using tetrasodium EDTA, which is supposed to help with DOS, and also because it will extend the life of the oils. Because in this oil batch I have rice bran oil, and even though I have not had DOS myself, I want to prevent them. So the temperature of my oils is 116 Fahrenheit. The lye water, I mixed it a couple hours ago, and it is at 111. So as far as the design, it's gonna be fairly simple because I'm only gonna be adding the embeds in the inside, which are the planets, and let me show them to you. I created them with soap dough, and usually you see people make bowls, but instead I just roll logs because I sort of want to be able to control where they go. But the soap itself, I'm just gonna have a black color on it. First I'm going to add the lye water to the oils, and I'm gonna blend them. Alright, so on the side I'm showing you a clip of when I was making the planets. I pretty much just grabbed some pieces of soap dough of different colors, and then I smashed them together until I created some form of cylinder, and I also twisted them to create a variation on the color. I did try to pick colors that will contrast against the black, and that will combine together and will look like planets. And so it's pretty much just a matter of rolling them into a log. Right. I have not quite even reached an emulsion yet, but I want to add the activated charcoal because I want to do it before adding the fragrance, since I don't know if the fragrance is the first time I'm using it, and I'm using Sweet Snow, which is a type fragrance, which means they're imitating some other fragrance from somebody famous probably. And this is from Lone Star Candle Supply. I chose this fragrance primarily because it has a high vanillin content. It's, I think, around 11%. So it should go dark really fast. So I'm going to put right now 2 teaspoons, and I'm gonna put 4. 4 teaspoons. Okay, it is looking dark. It's looking more like grayish. However, this combined with the fragrance discoloration should give me a fairly black soap. Just to be safe though, I'm also going to add a teaspoon of black oxide powder. And I have it in here because it exploded. See, it broke when it shipped. So most of the contents are in the bag. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon of that. Okay, at this point it has reached light trace. I am going to add the fragrance. Hopefully it doesn't accelerate. It's the first time I'm working with it, which is what I wanted to make sure I had the color well blended. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, but the fragrance is leaving like a white bluish trace on the soap. It looks kind of cool. Okay, it looks like the fragrance is well blended now. It did added a bluish tint to the butter, and now it seems to be uniform throughout. So I'm gonna take that as my signal, my sign that it's well incorporated into the soap. So I'm gonna get this out of the way. And I'm gonna put it into this mold. I have this closed in together to keep it somehow straight. And working with active charcoal is messy. Okay, so I'm going to pour the first layer. Alright, and then I'm just gonna distribute it evenly. And I'm going to start by adding what will be the stars, which are these skinny soap dough snakes. So I'm just gonna put them randomly. I have different colors. Some are yellow, some are green, some are blue, some are white. Which is, speaking of the white ones, let me get those. And I kept them in a Ziploc bag so that they don't become hard. So I'm just gonna put them all over, and then I'm just going to alternate the same weight with the planets. Just putting them hopefully in a way that is aesthetically pleasing. So now I'm gonna cover that. The soap is getting thick and it's warming up, so it looks like it's accelerating. I need to work quick, so I think it's time to start adding the planets. I also had this soap powder, which is just, you know, leftover pieces of the soap that accumulated in some bags that I was storing them in. They might look like stars as well, I'm not sure. The soap is definitely going through slight acceleration and a slight rising as well. So I have to make note of that in the future when I work with this fragrance again. I don't know if you've ever watched Star Trek or not. I had never watched it until after I got married, because my husband is a big fan of it. And I usually don't like sci-fi movies or shows, but this one I can actually enjoy watching because it seems to deal more sometimes with social issues and just stories, and then the backdrop is the galaxy. So some of them are interesting and some of them are funny. The only ones that I did not like to watch were the ones with the board. So I made this square looking thing, which is supposed to be the board, you know, where they live, their collective or their hive. They have a queen of sorts. The board are scary looking. I don't like them. And then I'm gonna do my last layer of soap. And finally, I'm going to put the embeds. And I have them right here. Because I'm using the Star Trek embeds, in the bars in which I use it, I'm just gonna gift them or keep them for personal use. So I have the sign of live long and prosper with the hands. So I'm using some of the black soap to go into the crevices of these embeds so that it's noticeable what they are. You know, just the black will stay in the indentations. and then hopefully that way it is easier to see what they're like. And I made these embeds by making a mold. I bought the actual little ships. These are the original ones. So what I did is that I made a silicone mold with the main parts, the disc portion of it, and then with soap dough I created the embeds. And I did the same thing with the hand, except that one I had to mold myself with polymer clay. So I'm going to be checking on this in the morning, and I'm going to cut it soon because I don't want it to crumble, and I tend to have crumbliness when I wait too long. And the fragrance seems to be accelerating it, so it should set up soon. I'm going to insulate it as well, if I can, so that the black color goes through gel, and that will help it get darker. So, until tomorrow. Bye. 8 a.m. and I made this last night around 10 or 11 p.m. So I'm gonna get it out because I don't want it to get too hard that it'll be crumbly when I cut it. It looks quite dark. It looks like there is partial gel. It didn't quite reach the corners. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Ta-da! Oh, that looks nice. I like it. This is the side that has the board square cube, or I want it to be a cube. And at this one, I'm gonna cut off the ship partially, and I did want the planets to be different sizes, so I'm happy that this one looks bigger, this one looks smaller, and that one just in between. And the placement is not bad either. So we're looking something similar here because I used the logs instead of the bowls. The stars are not very evenly distributed among all of them, but it's not bad. Next time I need to remember to, I guess, include more or distribute them better, because it looks like on this one there's barely any in the top, very few at the bottom.